sequence start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I live by the old code of second floor!
Why look for a scientific explanation when you can put blind trust in an invisible Sky Daddy?
Sky Daddy all the way.
Go watch your crappy sitcom! Turn up full volume, why don't you?
Aubrey, weird, I can't even get through my couch!
Nice.
Dang,
That was a experience.
Yeah.
Thanks for setting all this up.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude, I was just thinking the other day about I went and looked the other day at I found an old USB drive and it had all like my saved like behind the scenes footage of like the vlogs I did like probably 5, I think. 5 like official vlogs in high school, and one of them was like my high school graduation. And I watched it back again and I was just like wow, it was like my first experience of being like, that time is gone. Like that time of like of culture of like all that is like not here anymore. And that's like a really weird experience for me.
Yeah.
I feel like as young people, we're always just like, we are it. Like when you're young, you're like, what do you mean? Like, not that you don't think it's never gonna change, but you kind of don't think it's ever gonna change.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
And so looking back at that, which is now 6 years later for me, was like, holy crap, like a little sobering. And so I was like, man, thinking about like when I look back at this time, I want to be able to show my kids like what it's like at the batch house, or like, I want to be able to look back myself and just be like, dude, like I totally forgot that like there was always stuff on the front counter, or like, or whatever. Like, oh, we built the double-decker couch. And I was like, dang, we've talked about it. We've
talked about it forever.
Done all the things, but we've never actually been like, okay, today we're vlogging.
Yeah.
Or like, and so I think we should just do it, dude. Like we have any excuse. Like we have phones, we have a camera. Like we have no excuse not to just freaking do it. And actually have a mic that we can like put on the top.
Oh yeah, dude.
So I have like an actual, it's kind of big, but it would work.
Yeah, that'll definitely work.
I mean, you can always do it on your phone, but I just feel like doing it on a camera is just better for the flow of things.
Yeah.
And it just kind of makes it feel more special too. There's something about like just being like, this is the vlog camera. We only use it for vlogging, basically.
I used to record everything like on second floor, dude.
I know. I mean, even your video that you made was like so special, dude.
Dude, that video, like, I think only one of those videos were from someone else's phone.
Really?
Every single that video was like only from my phone, like, which is crazy.
Dude, we need to watch that again, bro.
I know.
That just like, it hits like nothing else.
It does.
It's better than any feature film we've seen last year.
Yeah. But now it's like my phone like never has storage, dude. So
I know, that's the thing,
it's
too.
like so annoying.
You can only do like 5-10 minutes of video.
Legit,
maybe you're lucky.
Yeah.
To do that. So yeah, I was just like, dang, dude, we just got to do it. Like, bro, when Nathan did the vlog when we went camping,
dude,
at the church, that was so like, even just watching back, like freaking, I don't know how long it took him to edit it, but probably not that long.
Yeah.
Just threw some music in it and just got like some funny clips. And I was like, dude, this is freaking hilarious. This is hilarious. It gave me like a dopamine high watching it. I was just like, this is awesome.
Yeah, when I was in high school, there was a girl I knew, I mean, we all knew in class, and she spent like the entire senior year just like vlogging, like not vlogging, but just like here and there, like she'd just have her camera and like record stupid things, and then at our, they call it like the junior senior event or whatever. At the end, like towards the end of the year, and she played that like for all of us, and it was like one of the sickest things ever because it was just like, dang, like especially with our school because you know so many of like these people like we've grown up with from kindergarten, you know, but like there's times I'll go back, I like once in a blue moon, I'll just like go on YouTube and find it and watch it, you know, it like it's that same effect. It's like holy crap. That is literally just another time. Like it just there's like there's no other feeling like it.
There's not. You can't replicate it.
But I mean, yeah, I think I mean it's nice to have someone or you know, just like to commit to that. Like, you know what, I'm gonna vlog this. Like I'm just gonna record this.
Like no matter where we go, just to have it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It's just
that is like the equivalent of, you know, like your parents busting out the photos, like the photo album.
Yes.
You know, that's like our version of that.
Yes, dude. Yes, and I want to be able to do that. Bro.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's part of the reason why we did the podcast, because it's like, the very least, we get to look back on it and be like, dang. We have all this documentary content of us thinking through our 20s.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Like if I could sit down and I could watch 100 episodes of, I don't know where we're at, like 70 episodes of,
I think this is 85.
Frick.
Yeah.
85 episodes of like my dad in his 20s.
Yeah.
Would be so crazy.
That dude, yeah. I mean, I can't even imagine what it's gonna feel like watching these episodes from like in my 40s. No, dude, that's gonna be so weird.
Yeah. I would say like 25 for me has been, turning 25 has been like the first age that I've like genuinely felt that like the freaking clock clicking forward.
Dude.
And there's like 18 to 25 is just gone.
Yeah.
It's just like
25 is different, dude. It's different.
There's no buffer zone anymore, dude. Like this is, it feels like that. It feels like this is it.
Yeah.
People that are older are like, oh, you got so much time left. Da, da, da. But like for me, I've always seen, I think Ryan was, I think he was like 24 when he graduated.
Mm.
And I remember thinking like it was like 24, kind of turning 25 because he took like, I don't know, 2 gap years or something like that.
Yeah, something
I don't know.
like that.
And took a little extra long. I don't know. But I know he was close to that because I remember thinking like, holy crap, bro. I can't imagine like where I'd be at 25.
Yeah.
You know, because I think I was probably 19 when I met him. So it's been really fascinating, man.
I remember something about 25, dude. I remember until I had turned 25, I just always felt like I was 21.
Yes.
Like I never felt like after 21, I just felt like I stayed 21, you know?
There's
and then
no
like
feeling
when 25
different.
hit, it was like, okay, this is different.
This is a milestone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now, I mean, when I was 18, 19 looking up at like 21-year-olds, I was like, whoa, that's
yeah,
old.
I mean, yeah.
You're kind of like, wow. But then like when you're in that 22, 23, 24, 25 range, you look at that age range from pretty much like 18 up to 25, and I can't, like I legit cannot tell the difference. I can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, you could be 18 or you could be 24.
Yeah.
Tell me, because I really have no idea.
Yeah. It's so true.
It's weird, man. It's like, it feels to me that sort of once you get there, the collective mind sort of just gets, I think what happens is when you're in high school, especially and earlier than that, there's so much development happening each year. There's so much.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, you know, from 13 to 14, that's a crazy jump. It really is.
Yeah.
But then when you get about like 18, 19, 20, it really starts to slow down most of the time. So it's like, okay, you're developing like a little bit less each year, it feels like. And then 25, like apparently I can make real decisions now because I think my
Yeah.
frontal, I felt it. Like as I woke up August 8th, I was like, bing, my frontal lobe has formed.
Yeah.
It's time to join the real world.
Dude, yes. I wonder if part of it has to do with like the school system,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like every time you increase in age, like you're also increasing in like a grade.
Mm-hmm.
And same for college too.
Yeah.
So then like when you graduate college at around like 21, 22 years old, then there's like no more milestones, you know?
Exactly.
Until 25.
Exactly.
So that's probably why you still feel like 21.
Yes. It's so
Until,
true.
yeah.
It's just
so
like a
weird.
dead zone.
Yeah.
And most of
yeah.
your peers are either like finishing college or doing like an advanced degree. And so,
Yeah.
or like just barely starting their careers. There's no real like milestone. There's just not
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a super socially accepted thing like, oh, you're this. Because 21, it's
Yeah.
like you vote. 18 you vote. 21 you can drink.
Right. Yeah.
And then it's like the next one's really 25, like you can like actually rent a car.
Mhm.
And that's, I think, the
But
last
yeah,
one.
it's like who cares about that?
But yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I'm not gonna talk about how we went to Montana. I had to put my wife's name down because I wasn't 25 yet. I'm not gonna talk about that.
Hold on, wait, dude. Did I hit record, bro?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to double check.
Oh, your audio?
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't like really know what to do about it though. It's like, you know, like what do you do?
Yeah, I think there's been I don't think this is like fully due to my birthday or like my age change, but I think it's part of it that I feel like I think I always had this belief in the back of my head that I'm like, okay, as long as I just keep putting myself like in the right positions that are sort of like going to force me to grow, like difficult things like like high school, like advanced classes in high school, sports, extracurriculars in high school, go to college, like freaking take a bigger course load. And as long as I'm like applying myself, then I was always like, okay, well, I'm just going to like become the person I want to become. And it's just going to take a few more years. In some sense, like I wasn't completely like this because I would definitely work towards goals for sure, but I really did have like an underlying belief of like, oh well, 19 to 25 is 6 years, like I'll be like crazy by the time I get there, like 6 years, oh my gosh. And what I realized was like, okay, I feel like this was at like a high level though. It was a realization of, I think like when you enter adulthood, at least for me, the game that I was playing my whole life changed. Because like for me, my goals had always been work hard in high school to get a scholarship so that I can go to a school I want to go to, which ended up being SAGU. I wanted to go to SAGU because I wanted to study I want to study like ministry or the Bible because I was interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that SAGU would have a lot of like-minded people that I could make friends. And I was hoping that I could also like meet my wife there. But then I also knew that I wanted to go into business ultimately, probably. But I did not want to get a business degree. And so then I did all those things and I got married and I was like, okay, I met you guys, made great friends, like studied really cool in-depth stuff that I wanted to really bad. Learned a ton of cool stuff. And then I was like, okay, well, the next thing like I've always wanted to do is either start a business or like become successful in business, whatever success means to you. And so that's why I started my little fencing company, which led to me moving here with you guys with Purple Fencing. And so for the last like 4 years, for me, it's been like, okay, let me freaking just like try to get as many skills as possible, see if I can grow this company. And I'm like, okay, holy crap, like I have a team now. And like my business partner didn't freaking scam out on me. Like he seems to be a great guy. Like I'm sort of coming to this place of like, wow, what do I sort of have accomplished like all the big things that I wanted to as a kid. And I'm kind of like having to really reevaluate of like what's important to me, what do I want, and then that's taken a long time to feel like, what do I want? Not what do people say I should do, but what do I really want to do?
Yeah.
And what does God want me to do? And so that has been something I've been meditating on a lot. And then I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm really, really zoning in on it now. And I've really felt like a new passion to do stuff now. Like I really feel like I have like my mojo back. I feel like I really enjoy working hard, and it's like easier for me to work now versus like there's some points in my life where I'm like, it's just hard. Like the work is monotonous. It's not fun. It's like boring or sucky or whatever. But like the work I'm doing right now feels for the most part fun. And I enjoy working hard right now. And because I think that's a byproduct of me zeroing in on like, what do I want to do by the time I'm 30? Like, because I think that's the next milestone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the next 5 years, like you're not just gonna get there by like letting 5 years go by. Like you gotta like really cut that belief out.
Yeah.
And realize like the only thing that's gonna get you there is basically like what I used to do in high school, which was like budget out my day and not let any time to go to waste, and really like get serious about what I was after. And that became easier and easier to do in high school because I knew exactly what I wanted. And then you get momentum, and then you like achieve a little goal here, a little goal there, and it's like fun. You know?
Yeah.
There's hard parts for sure, but I've been missing that for the last few years, I felt like. Because I was kind of coming to the finale of my sort of like preteen dreams.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's been like a really weird time of like reflection, and then, okay, what do I want to do? What I enjoy? Because I feel like 25 hits, you're kind of like, I have a decent handle on who I am as a person.
Yeah.
Like what I enjoy, what I don't enjoy, what I believe, what I don't believe. At least much more so than 18.
Yeah.
From like 18 to 25, I feel like the development's a lot less physical. It's a lot more emotional and mental, and possibly spiritual too, depending on what you do. But at least it has been for me. So yeah, that's been kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely noticed in the last like few weeks ago. I mean, definitely, it seems like you kind of have that energy back.
Yeah, it's definitely been nice to feel like I'm back on my feet, and I can think again, and I can just, I actually like have a desire. Like I feel like my desires are coming back, like a desire to work, a desire to do things, a desire like, versus before it was like kind of tough to like make myself do stuff during that time. But yeah, I feel like I'm back. Took a minute.
Dude, I remember like a very similar thing for me at 25, where I was just like, it just like hit me. Honestly, what it was coming back from that California
I remember
trip.
we were at Waffle House. I remember that.
Was that Waffle House?
Yeah,
like,
we were at Waffle House, and you were like, dude, I feel like I'm just getting started.
Yeah, dude. I just remember like, I don't know, like that was one of the first times I really, because dude, I mean, there's like a lot happened before that, you know, like building up to that, between relationships, between like job situations, all that stuff. And so going on that trip for like 2 weeks, that whole thing, like coming back, I was like, dang, okay, like I need to like kick it in gear, dude. You know, like, and I still don't even know if it was like I know what I want to do exactly, you know, but I did kind of have that sense of, okay, I know like more of what I don't want to do. And honestly, I think that's kind of been, honestly, when I think about it, it's kind of been like my whole life, I feel like, where, I mean, in high school, like I wasn't really thinking about like I don't know, like huge goals, like, or not, like, I don't know, like huge. I wasn't like super concerned about like getting married, you know, like in my, you know, early 20s, whatever, or like, you know, but it was only, it was, or it's like, you know, what job I'd be working. But I think
Yeah.
a lot of that was just because I didn't know what I wanted.
Yeah.
You know, like I was just like still kind of figuring that out. And so I feel like getting to where I am now, especially, it's like, it's just been a whole process of like doing something and it's like, okay, this isn't for me, you know?
Yeah.
And then pulling that away and then like trying something else. Okay. Just kind of like weeding out
Yeah.
like what it is I actually want to do. It's been like a long process, but then like all those things that I've done, like I don't regret any of them because like that's still experience that I get, I can take like along with me. But
And I remember like it was about 2 years ago, you know, roughly when we had that Waffle House conversation, like about, it would be like about a month ago, 2 years basically, I think. And that was, I mean, like this time 2 years ago for you was like right when you were coming out of this stage of your life where it was just like you were like so busy all the time, but it was for other people.
yeah,
It was all like for other people.
Yeah.
And you really, I think that you filled up, I think you might have filled up your schedule like that to feel like you were doing something, like have a semblance of like, hey, I'm doing, like I'm helping people and like I'm, you know, I enjoy what I do, whatever, and I'm trying to just figure things out. And then you had this moment where you were like, I got to take a step back from everything because I'm not having the space to really figure that out of what does Zach want to do.
Yeah.
And then it was like 3 months later that we ended up starting the podcast.
Yeah.
So it was like, I just remember that time. It was like a very interesting period where you were kind of just like removing yourself from all these
Yeah.
like circles
Yeah.
and just being like, I'm going to just be with myself and be with God and figure out, okay, where do I want to go? Like where you're kind of like, you're setting that trajectory for the rocket ship and like waiting for the countdown to start. Like I want to go somewhere. I'm tired of other people taking all my time and energy. And so like that was, I think maybe around the time where you were like starting the Turo thing too. Sort of.
I think
it
so,
was,
dude.
I think it was
think
kind of
so,
close
yeah.
around that time. Because you're like, okay, I know I don't want to work for someone else because my bosses have been idiots. Like, I know I like to have my own time and freedom, but I need to have money to do that. So I need to start a business. How do I start a business? You like did all that work. And then you're like, God told me not to start that specific business right now. And you're like, but, you know, we had all these things about the church we want to talk about. We're like, let's just start a podcast.
Yeah.
So then like we did that. And then you got your good job at Applied, where you had like actually like a good manager.
I started that job in like May that year.
Oh, okay. So you already had it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're making really good money, and you're like, you had a good manager who'd actually like let you have time off.
Yeah.
Didn't like love the job, but it was freaking better than like a warehouse or something. And I think you were like, since then had kind of been like planning your escape, basically like from the 9 to 5, and then you started working on your QuickBooks and stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, like it really, I'm saying that because it really was that time that you were like, all right, I know it doesn't, like I know I'm not finding what I want because I'm doing what everyone else wants me to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got to stop that first. I don't know what I want to do, but I know that if I stop those, I'll probably
I can like try to figure it out.
I can actually try to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's so interesting. Because even coming out of college, I had like, you know, Bible and theology degree, and like moving to Texas for the, like that was such a wild time. Like moving to Texas. I mean, moving to Austin for the church, like for New Hope. Like at that time, it was like, oh, like this is it, you know, like we're gonna come here and help like build this freaking church, you know. And then like the merge happened, and it was just like slowly over time, it just became like more and more involved,
Yeah.
like unintentionally.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Definitely been a wild ride.
Yeah. But I've definitely really like been trying to be more intentional about like writing down like what I want to accomplish.
Mm.
Like this year I wrote down like, specific goals for the year, you know, which I just like never really had done before. And like now that I'm at like the halfway point, kind of like re-analyzing it, like okay, like halfway point of the year, okay, like what do I need to do to accomplish these goals? Like, yeah, because that kind of brings back that whole, like it's like a milestone, you know. That's why it's that way. I'm not just like, okay, well, whatever happens till I'm 30, you know, is what happens. It's like, okay, I have like something to look forward to and accomplish like by the end of the year. So all those times, dude, you hear your coach or whatever talk about writing down your goals and you're just like, yeah, whatever, I'll do it. But then it's like,
You mean for high school?
yeah, I'm saying it's like all the time in life, like you grow up and people are like, you gotta write down your goals, you know? It's
Yeah,
like,
you're like, fine.
just kind of like roll your eyes, like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But it works, dude.
I know. Even like, there's a lot of stuff that in high school where it was just, they were like, well, you just got to do this. It's like, okay, well, you got to work out every day because you're in athletics. Okay. You know,
Yeah.
or whatever. You got to learn something every day because you're in class. Okay. And then all of a sudden, all that goes away and you're like, whoa. I got to like create that environment for myself.
Yeah.
Which is weird. So I don't know if you remember Saturday night, Sam was talking about that debate between John Lennox and it's not really a debate, but it's a podcast. John Lennox and Alex O'Connor.
He was talking about AI or something, right? Or maybe they talked about multiple things. But
yeah, they talked about a bunch of different things. But it's fire, by the way.
Really?
I think John Lennox, for me, is like right up there with William Lane Craig.
Really?
Yes.
Dang.
I've seen him debate Richard Dawkins and then Christopher Hitchens, and he just like dismantles them, but in the nicest way. And he's got this like Irish accent. He's like 81 now, so it looks like Santa. He's like an Irish Santa Claus looking guy, and he's a professor at Oxford in algebra and math.
Dang.
Insanely. So he's gonna be like what C.S. or he's gonna be like a C.S. Lewis type guy when he dies.
Yeah.
Like he's that guy. He's that guy. But they brought up some really interesting things that I thought would be fun to talk about. So first they start off, and the first question is like, are science and religion at odds? And I thought like he made a really good point, and he says that he argues that the historic soil that nourished modern science was the Judeo-Christian conviction that nature is law governed because there's a lawgiver. And I think he actually gives like a C.S. Lewis quote there too. But I thought that was a really good point. Let me see. I had ChatGPT like make me a breakdown of it. I'm trying to like just figure out what I really was interested in.
Honestly, I haven't like really listened to a ton of John Lennox.
You should start with this one because it's fun. So one of his points was that evolution doesn't eliminate a creator. It distinguishes it from life's origin. Wait. No, he draws the line between the origin of life and then subsequent biological change, and he really does give Darwin his flowers in the sense of saying like Darwin was a genius. He figured out that these evolutions were happening with these animals on the Galapagos Islands. But he said what then happened was evolution became a vehicle for atheism to explain how the world came to be outside of the Bible. And he's like, anyone who really studies evolution was realized, and especially now, like we're coming to the end of the like new atheist age. And he's like, most scholars will agree that evolution is a terrible explanation for, it's like a punt, almost like a punt to chance for the beginning of life. But he was like, evolution obviously exists. Like it's really clear, but there's a lot of things that Darwin didn't understand at the time. And there's a lot of people that then took Darwin's ideas and sort of like, they kind of turned it into like neo-Darwinism. And like basically we're like, evolution is a causation agent, which is not. And so he really broke that down, I thought, really well. His bottom line for this was that randomness or selection doesn't rule out design any more than a self-winding mechanism rules out a watchmaker.
Interesting.
Okay, bro, this part blew my mind. Like it not because it's like so it's not because it's so like innovative, but just because it's so, I've never thought about this before. So he talks about how let me see, I want to get this right. What does John Lennox cite about the Word of God specifically? So basically he affirms that the Bible's God's self-revelation. It's the Word of God. So he points to Genesis. Also, he pointed out, I never knew this. He said, everyone always makes a really big deal about the creation account in Genesis. He's like, but that doesn't really reflect the author's intent. We know that because the account of Genesis, of the creation of life in Genesis, is less than 100 words.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And like that put it into perspective for me. But he points out how in Genesis 1, it says each time it repeats, and God said. For each of the things that he creates. It says, and God said, and God said, and God said. And so he kind of weaves this into also John, the beginning of the book of John, where it talks about the Logos. Like in the beginning was the Word. Word was with God, the Word was God. And he basically connects the biblical claim that God speaks creation into existence with the discovery that nature itself is intelligible, structured, and rational. And then what he goes into, okay, so he links this to what scientists find. The universe runs on mathematical laws, which Lennox argues makes sense if the universe itself is the product of a rational word. And this was really cool too. He brought up DNA as an example of this too, realizing that like it was a system as well. We figured out that it's an incredibly complex system. And this is one of his signature arguments, that DNA is not just chemistry, it's information. Tying that to words, like tying that to the Word of God. A sequence of symbols in a chemical alphabet. He says DNA gives us 3.4 to 4 billion letter long words, a word in a chemical alphabet. And for Lennox, this word inside biology resonates with Scripture's insistence that creation is the product of divine speech.
Dang, that's pretty crazy.
He stresses that in human experience, information always comes from mind, not matter alone. which I think he was insinuating that adds evidence to us being created in the image of God.
Okay. Yeah.
And so he basically ties it together with John's opening. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And he highlights how John deliberately uses the Greek word logos, reason, which means reason, word, ordering principle, to speak to both Jewish and Greek audiences. For him, the logos, or Christ, is the ultimate Word of God, the rational foundation of the cosmos, the source of both physical intelligence and personal meaning. Which I just was like, wow, I've never heard someone take that lane with tying biology to the logos.
Yeah.
Never heard that before.
That is super interesting. I mean, it is interesting because of that choice of word that John uses, like, to describe the beginning of the known, like, universe or world, right? Like,
Yeah.
in the beginning was the Word. Actually, I think what's his name? The guy who does Unseen Realm.
Michael Heiser?
Yeah, Michael Heiser. Yeah, he kind of talks about something similar. Like God's Word being like a physical, tangible thing that's
Wow.
like you can't like really describe it really, but that is fascinating.
Yeah, the way that he presents is just so beautiful. And I feel like they had a beautiful conversation, honestly. Like,
Who's he talking with?
Alex O'Connor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Alex O'Connor. Cosmic skeptic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, Alex had great pushback, great questions, and I think they even had points of agreement too. It's really cool. It's really cool. I would definitely recommend anyone who's interested in those topics should go look it up on YouTube and listen, because it was fire.
Yeah, definitely. I really do believe like evolution is kind of dead.
It feels that way. It feels like it's kind of dying out of the cultural worldview.
Yeah, like it's not like super relevant.
It's not
anymore.
Mm-mm.
You know.
No.
I think agnosticism is still pretty prevalent, but agnosticism is it's annoying.
It is, dude.
It's like
it's a cop out.
It's a cop out, bro. It's like you just don't want to commit to anything. You know? It's like
you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's just no proof.
Okay, so the thing that I feel like is most prevalent in our area, like the belief system, is I think based on agnosticism. Agnostic. I think it is. Like when I talk to people, because there's a lot of spiritual people in Austin.
For like that is becoming more popular.
Huge.
Yeah, either like they believe in like some sort of spiritual thing or like nature. I've heard that a lot. Like
so they'll basically switch God with either the universe or nature, and they think that that's like totally okay.
Yeah.
And in the sense of like a logical argument, and like I've heard people say how it's really, I think people, especially in our area, really struggle with the concept of sin, and especially original sin, because they see it as very offensive.
Yeah.
Like, for lack of a better word, in the sense that, well, what do you mean? Like how, I think that even goes deeper to a lack of a true understanding of the word love. I think like that's the foundation of, especially even the transgender movement too. Like love and acceptance have been twisted to mean something that you allow someone to do something even to their own detriment. And that's somehow loving or accepting.
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's not. Like the real version of love is, you know, you say, "Hey Joseph, like what you're doing is not good for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I care enough about you to confront you. Like I love you so much that I would say you need to get up and you need to get like stop doing what you're doing
Yeah.
because it's not good for you long term." But it doesn't seem that there's like a prevailing understanding of that.
Yeah.
And I feel a lot of pressure when I talk to people about this right there. Like when we talk about a pressure point, it's how can an objective truth exist and still be loving? Because what they really want is they want to live in a world where everyone can have their own truth
Yeah.
and everyone can still be loved. And so then they're sort of like this social status that if you accept, the more accepting you are, the more loving you are, which makes you a higher status person.
Yeah. Which makes you like more of a. You seem like a good person.
Yes. It adds like it makes you feel like that person is better
Yeah.
if they're more accepting. And when you sort of like it's actually like it sort of like stonewalls you some, at least me, it kind of like hits me in the face a little bit because the implied accusation back at me is, well, if you tell someone that what they're doing is wrong, then you're bad.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Mhm.
that's how it makes me feel.
Yes.
But if you pull on the string just a little bit and you're like, well, what do you mean by love? Like, what do you mean by acceptance? What do you mean by truth? You kind of get down to what they're really saying. You can kind of say, well, I really think that love is, you can go through that whole thing and say, I really think that love is confronting someone if they don't. And then it's like, well, what do you mean by this is wrong? And then that's what you talk about sin and people are like, sin, like,
Yeah.
dude, what is this,
Yeah.
the 1800s? Like,
It's true, dude. It's true. Yeah, like I've been in conversations with people where it's like, so so you think homosexuality is wrong? And I'm just like, yes. Like, yeah, I do,
yeah,
Like it's a commitment. I think that's another part of it. It's like
dude.
people are afraid to commit to like a stance. And so me taking that stance on their side is like you said, is like I now seem like the bad person because I'm not. Me taking that, like stopping at that line is like me judging you and saying, yeah, you're wrong if you accept that.
Which,
like
in the hierarchy that view of like decreases your social status.
yeah.
It's seen as like a oof.
Yeah. Yes.
You're and then like the sort of label that comes out is like you're intolerable. You're they have these like buzzword insults like you're the bigot, you're the this, you're the that, you're the whatever. And that's somehow supposed to like that's sort of what happened which I think we're coming out of cancel culture now, but that's kind of what happened with cancel culture. It was like don't say, I think everyone kind of has like a residual like don't say those types of things because you could get wiped out.
Yeah.
Or, whatever. At least just bullied a little bit.
I noticed that like another big one is abortion. that is a line for people.
Bro.
It's crazy.
And Pastor B brings it up in service. It's like all the air goes. It's gone instantly.
Yeah.
He can bring up he can really bring up anything, but you're right. If he brings up homosexuality or abortion, it's
crazy.
You
dude.
can hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
You can hear a pin drop.
It's crazy because there's those two topics, like there's just so many different views and opinions.
There's a lot to unpack too.
Yes, dude. Yes. I think like in conversations I've had with people though, like people who are interested in the Christian faith or whatever, it's almost like they, in their minds, like for them to cross that line and become a Christian, then it's like, oh, then I would have to not like homosexuals, or like I would have to, like whatever. It's like
It's almost like I would have to hate these people.
yes, like they think that there's like
Right,
because they have the assumption that like we hate them. They think if they become like us, they have to hate them. It's like
Yes, which I've been trying to think of like an ease into that conversation to try to get ahead of that. And it's really tough because as soon as you make the connection of like, well, I don't hate the person, like I don't like the thing, it's like that sets them off.
It
You're
does,
kind of
yeah,
like
it
you're like
does.
digging yourself out of a hole already.
yeah.
And so I'm trying to think of an analogy like of because there's a lady that does jujitsu and she's at least bi, maybe gay, I'm not sure, but I think, and I have like a pretty good relationship with her now, I would say. And I've been trying to think of like, man, what's a way that I can ease into that type of conversation? It's just so tough. I think it's like, okay, well, if you didn't like heterosexuality, you wouldn't look at me and say that you hate me, right? And she would be like, no,
Yeah.
right? You just like wouldn't like what I was doing, right?
Yeah.
Like, what if you thought that heterosexuality was detrimental to society? What if you thought it was detrimental to your personal well-being or spiritual well-being? You still wouldn't hate me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And she may joke and say, yeah, I would. She's funny.
Yeah.
But like, I think making the connection like that before and making the differentiations like, yeah, so what's wrong with me saying I don't approve of this behavior. I don't like this behavior. I don't think it's good
Right.
for anyone.
Yeah.
Even if it makes you feel good. That's the thing that people just don't, they like,
Yes. Yeah.
they just cannot like mesh those ideas together.
I think that's a pretty good way to put it.
And I don't
Yeah.
know, it's not, it's every analogy is a three-legged dog, but
Yeah.
it doesn't really work.
Yeah.
And the abortion one is just so tough because it's almost like you could never come at it with enough empathy. It's like no matter what you say, it's just going to be like, what do you mean? Like you don't want women to choose? You hate women?
Well, it's because like they always have to bring up like the most specific,
despicable scenario ever.
scenario. It's like,
Which is crazy because I actually have a pretty good comeback to that one, which is like, not comeback, but I have a pretty good follow-up with that one of a personal story. Like there was a lady who was a youth group leader. Her and her husband were youth group leaders and like taught Sunday school. She was an awesome person. And one day she was like sharing her testimony. She was like, yeah, she was like, I was actually conceived by and like my mom decided to have me. And like they told her that, you know, they went through the whole thing of like the doctors told her to, her family told her to get aborted, to abort her or whatever. And she was like, I get to live and have my life now. And like, I'm not a terrible person. Like,
yeah.
and
Gosh,
so
that's crazy.
that's the personal example. Like, okay, you want to throw me a crazy example? I'll give you a personal example.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I feel like
very
that's
true.
pretty fair.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's true because it's like that is not a one-off example. Dude.
Sure.
Like there are plenty of stories of people who, you know, like they were or they were, you know, like whatever, something terrible happened to them and they had a kid.
Yeah.
And that kid grew up and had an amazing life. Like,
Yeah.
And so if you abort that child, like you're taking that away from them,
Mhm.
you know? It's like,
I think what really gets me is it's like the dehumanization of the baby. Because it's like, well, so women's right to choose. Like, well, what about the baby's right to choose? Oh, it's not a baby.
right.
It's not a baby. And that's how like they the argument tries to get around of like, well, it's not a baby, it's a fetus.
Yeah.
Which is
Which
ridiculous.
is like a whole nother side.
Yeah,
of the
it's a
argument,
whole other
dude.
side. Yeah. I think, have you ever seen Bill Burr's joke on this?
No.
He has just an incredibly crafted joke on this. It's so good. He's like, you know, I really believe that women have the right to choose and do what they want with their bodies. And everyone's like, yeah. And then he's like, but he's like, you know, he's like, if they want to abort that fetus, whatever, cool. Like it's your body, your choice. He's like, but if I put a cake in the oven and someone comes out, takes my cake out and throws it across the floor, I'm not going to be like, hey, what did you do with my flour and eggs and milk? He's like, that was going to be a cake. You ruined my cake.
Dude, that's a pretty good way to put it, dude.
It's so funny, dude.
Gosh, that's hilarious. Gosh. Yeah.
Here it is.
Pro-choice always made sense to me because I don't like people telling me what to do. And I always just like, it's your body. Who the fuck am I to tell you what to do with your body? So that always made sense. All right? However, I still think you're killing a baby. See? That's where it gets weird. It's not a baby yet. That's what they say, which may or may not be true. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I'll tell you, my gut tells me that doesn't make sense. It's not a baby yet. That would be like if I was making a cake and I poured some batter in a pan and I put it in the oven, and then 5 minutes later you came by and you grabbed the pan, you threw it across the floor, and I went, what the fuck, you just ruined my birthday cake? And then you were like, well, that wasn't a cake yet. It's like, well, it would have been. If you didn't do what you just did, there would have been a cake in 50 minutes. Something happened to that cake, you cake murdering son of a bitch. Pro-choice always makes sense.
Dang, dude.
Is that not like the best crafted joke ever?
That's gotta be one of the best. That is hilarious. But that's, I mean, dude, that is a great analogy.
It hits it
dude.
right
Gosh.
on the head.
Holy cow. Yeah, it's so crazy, dude, how, like, you know, you just come up with a different word.
It just
So,
like, yeah, it's just
yeah,
like it
just
clicks
like-
for people.
yeah, yeah. Dude, I read a crazy statistic, bro. Not like, I think it was today or yesterday. It was like, I want to say it was like 25% of Gen Z has been aborted or something like that. Like was
Whoa.
aborted.
No way.
I think so, dude.
Let's look up crazy.
It was like
crazy Gen Z statistics.
it was something like that, bro. I wonder if I liked it. I was like, dang. Let's see. Yeah, I did not like it. I don't know why. It's hard for me to like a photo or something. Like it's just like a terrible thing, you know?
Yeah,
Even if I
like-
know it's gonna like help me save it for later.
I looked up crazy, wild, different statistics.
I wonder if I can just look it up.
Wow. 63% of Gen Z say mental health is a key factor in choosing an employer. More than for younger millennials, 50%. 61% of Gen Z
Interesting.
have earned income from gig economy or side hustle work. Only 25% of Gen Z want to use or carry cash by 2025. Wow, 75% of Gen Z doesn't want to carry cash. I'm definitely in that group. Compared to millennials, there's been a delay in life milestones. Gen Z is marrying and having kids later. Only 14% are married by age 28 versus 20% of millennials, and they're delaying home buying too. Yeah, you think.
Wow.
A staggering 96% of Gen Z own a smartphone, and 75% prefer messaging via apps or shorter video over phone calls or email.
What? Really?
Yeah. Oh, about 20% of Gen Z report having invested in crypto, significantly higher than older generations. I actually just bought my first Bitcoin, $50 worth,
Really?
last week. Yeah, I finally pulled the trigger. Probably it's like freaking it's crazy high. I'm like, whatever. Interesting.
Gen Z is just like they're the freaking guinea pigs, bro.
Okay, dude, here's my theory right now. Like I was thinking about this week. When I put together like all of the like predictive programming movies I've watched, all of the historical data from like The Fourth Turning and like other sources that I've read,
Yeah.
that it's like actually backed, you know? And I think about the way that World War II went down. And I'm thinking about like, okay, what would it look like for a climactic event to end this Fourth Turning? Like, I feel in my gut, dude, that like it's gonna be some type of like on national soil type thing. Dude, like it's either gonna be like aliens or it's gonna be like freaking like Russia, or actually I think it's gonna be more like that book I read, New Rules of War. Gosh, that's such a good book, dude. I think everyone should read that book. Even what I've read from him too, I really believe that we're going more towards like a mercenary type, like what is the term that they used? Proxy war sort of century. Like I think like the next century is going to be like that type of warfare, even what we see with like the drones and stuff like that. And I really feel like with all the people that have been coming to the border like the last 4 years, that they're just like freaking, either it's going to be like sleeper cell type thing, but like a little bit different than that. It's going to be like an attack on the power grid. I think it's really going to be something at home, because that is a thing that like no one expects is going to happen. We all walk around like never having ever felt the fear of the enemy being like down the street.
Yeah.
We've never felt that. Which is like, I know it's a wild thing to assert, but I want this on record. In case it happens, I am going to look back on this video and be like, I was kind of right or half right or almost there or something. But I just think that like, if you look at pop culture and if you buy into like any type of predictive programming, I just really think that like every movie that we've seen since World War II has been like, I think Marvel's a great example. It's like all the heroes getting together, you know, or it's like the young people against the older bad people.
Yeah.
It's like that sort of, I mean, maybe I just love those movies. I don't know, but I feel like a lot of that has been, or it's like people versus aliens or people versus like a monster type enemy. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I just feel like, and then I look at like the archetypes of the millennials, the archetypes of Gen Z, of boomers, of Xers. And I'm like, okay, everyone has kind of like counted Gen Z out and it's sort of like, they're just cooked. Like economically, they're not having kids, like they're not getting married. They're not like following this sort of World War II era American dream path.
Yeah.
And a lot of Gen Zers are just sort of like, I don't even care. Because it feels like so unachievable or so far away sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And we've talked so much about that. And so I think a lot of, and you know, we have that sort of like, they're lazy, they're this or that kind of moniker over our generation. And so, dude, what I really think, bro, I really think that it's going to be, there's going to be some sort of attack or whatever like that. And I think it's going to be really, really hard to know what's going on. That's a big thing. I think it's going to be really hard to figure out what's going on. Either the enemies are like, you know, sleeper cells and you're not going to be able to tell who's who, or it's going to be like there's a freaking crazy unidentified type of thing, orbs or aliens or like whatever. It's going to happen. And people are like not going to know what the freak is going on.
Yeah.
And I think, mark my freaking words, dude, I feel it in my gut, that Gen Z are gonna rise to the occasion. And I the reason I say that, and I think they're gonna like they're gonna have to make a decision of like, are we gonna save the day, or are we gonna like succumb to our weakness?
Yeah.
Because we've
Yeah.
been like, we're kind of a weaker generation in the sense of like, we've not been through something like really, really difficult besides COVID. COVID was like the first real challenge we all faced.
Yeah.
Like most of us weren't that old to experience the like real effects of the 2008 crisis. That was our parents, really, right? But like for us, COVID was sort of the first one, but we've never really known like true fear. We've never known like true instability.
Yeah.
It's just sort of this like constant.
Because even like 9/11.
Yeah,
is,
we were
like,
too young.
Before. Yeah.
But there is this like constant like uneasiness, an undercurrent of like I don't think Social Security is gonna be around when I'm 70.
Yeah.
I don't think like sometimes I'm even like, dude, do I even invest in our 401k? Like I don't know, like because it's just gonna be such a reset. Like I think our generation is just like we kind of feel like. Do we go that hard?
Tension,
there's
bro,
this tension that we're like, do we go hard into what all these boomers are telling us that it's like the traditional route, or do you kind of like just wait it out to see what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And I think like that's the tension we feel, and I believe that because Gen Z is so like massively, our faces are in technology, that I believe that's going to be a key in achieving victory over whatever happens.
Yeah.
And I feel like Gen Z, because of that, Gen Z is like, and the ability, I think our generation has the ability to overlook a lot of like hierarchy and corporate BS. I think you're seeing that even in millennials. A lot of times there's a lot of companies, like Kelton just joined our friend Kelton like just got a job for a company that's just like this. A lot of companies are not having as much of a hierarchy. It's more of like a collaboration feel in the company, because they realize that it de-incentivizes people when they realize that if they work harder, they're not gonna get anything.
Yeah.
So like, well, I'd rather like have them collaborate and at least like have them involved, because that's honestly like a big core value of our generation. We just want to be involved.
Yeah.
We want to feel like we're a part of something. And so companies are realizing like that is even more valuable than a higher salary sometimes. Is that's just what we saw in the statistics, that Gen Z cares more about a mental health, an employer that cares about mental health than they do. Like that's a big question for them, right? And so like all this goes into my freaking theory that Gen Z is going to have to make a decision, but if they make the right decision, they're going to save the day. And they're going to become just like, our generation is the same generation that went and fought World War II.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of. Like we're sort of like in between, but like like the real young ones right now are technically the artist generation, but like us and then the millennials. So like 20 to kind of like 35, 35.
Yeah.
It's that age group that's going to have to make the decision of like, are we going to band together and figure out whatever this is? And that's what makes me think that it's going to be such an unorthodox event, because I think that it's going to freak out boomers and Xers, especially boomers. Like all the boomers that are in power are like not going to know what the crap to do. And I think that's like almost a stipulation for the fourth turning, because what happens is like the Xers, I think the Xers have a big influence too, because they become like the leaders. The ones that are in like their 40s and 50s, they're the ones that are like, hey, we have enough life experience where we understand you guys a little bit better. But we also realize that like we got to get stuff done.
Yeah.
You know? And then it's the millennials and the little bit of Gen Xers, Gen Zers that are going to be like the force, like the actual physical, let's get together and figure out how we take this thing down, or whatever force that like has to make the decision. Are we going to band together, or are we going to like all just die, or is America, are we going to let the nation just break apart? And that's the decision. That's like the big decision of the climax is the generation going to win and like get through that really hard time and become an even stronger nation? Or is it going to like break apart into northern United States, southern United States, or like is it going to really change the course of the country or and the world history? Because that's also like a possibility. Because every other turning before this, one of them was the Civil War.
Right. Yeah.
And so like you had a real.
It could have been North and South.
It could have been
like,
North and South America.
Yeah.
I don't know
Or
how
like-
that would work, but
Yeah.
whatever.
The Confederate. And
Right.
Like and
It could have-
the
yeah.
Union.
Yeah.
Know? Yeah.
Could have totally
Yeah.
been that way too. So that's my theory, dude. And it just like, it's kind of like, I know we had this conversation like 2 months ago, but it really makes me want to be like, okay, I want to really work on my skills. Like, I want to go learn how to use a handheld radio. Like, really learn how to use it. I want to learn how to like garden. I want to learn how to do these things that like, if my phone gets turned off and all my power gets turned off, what am I going to do? Like, like for me, a big weakness of mine is maps. Like I love being able to turn on maps and like not think about where I'm going, just to be able to look at the maps and go.
Yeah.
So I bought like a giant freaking National Geographic map set. Cause I'm like, I really need to like be able to know how to get somewhere, which is, I think, a weakness of our generation. But anyway, that just makes me want to be like, okay, what hard skills can I develop in the next 5 years that if by the time 2030 rolls around, something happens, I'll be more prepared.
Yeah.
Cause I mean, I don't know about you, but like, I want to be, cause in those movies, dude, there's always the person that has done nothing to prepare. They are completely immature and they like literally get everyone else killed.
Yeah, dude.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, I don't want to be that person. First of all, I don't think I would, but I also don't want to, I want to be strong enough to be seen as a leader.
Yeah.
I really want to do, like, I want to be a leader.
At least an asset.
At least an asset. That's a
Yeah.
good way to put it. At
Yeah.
least an asset. And capable in some sense. I think that's a big thing for men, is we always want to feel capable, but especially for this time, it's like, I just feel like there's not going to be, because the reason I say this, I feel like there's not going to be a lot of support in the traditional sense that we know now. And I think that that is going to be a result of the decrease in the trust that our culture has in institutions. I think that like institutional trust, government trust has been eroding ever since the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
Like you
for
can see
sure.
a really clear switch where it was like, yeah, Vietnam War, yeah, stop communism. And the Vietnam War was like, we should not have done that.
Yeah.
Like, you guys messed up. Like, pointing to the government, like, you guys messed up. We don't really trust you that much anymore.
Yeah.
And like from that time, historians will say there's been an eroding trust in institutions.
I think we're at like the peak of that. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's like, it's just kind of known that
People just
you
don't believe-
trust the government.
Yeah. You can listen to
You know?
any podcast. People are like, yeah, we don't trust. like,
Yeah. Yeah.
That you're going to do what you're saying you're going to do.
Right.
It's almost like it was kind of like after I really felt it after the 2020 election. And then after COVID, people started to like really feel that.
Yeah.
And even this last election was a lot of like, people realized how much of a play it is.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you guys are just like, you guys have been putting on a play for us
Yeah.
for the most part, and just like screwing us behind our backs for the better
Yeah.
part of like 70 years. We're just now catching up to that.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my game theory.
It makes, it's like, I'm sure there's so many people who have like caught on to it early. You know,
for sure, but they
like,
were seen as crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but now it's like all the things that everyone used to think were crazy. It's like most of those things people just think, yeah, that's probably true. You know, like,
Or have come out as true.
yeah, exactly, exactly. If there's like,
So what do you think about that? Like, that's my big theory.
if there's a national crisis, dude, like on U.S. soil, especially if it's like a war, like if America comes to that point where it's like that big of a crisis where like complete trust of the government. It's just like let's just like think like maybe
let's catastrophe.
yeah,
this for a
like
moment.
if the government just like has a fallout, right? Just like there's no leader, there's no like there's no like freaking Senate or whatever. Like we're kind of just on our own. I don't see us going back to how the Wings. I don't see us going back to how the way things have been.
No, and that in fact that's a great point. That is in fact the point of the fourth turning. The crisis, and they write about this in the book, is like the crisis has to be of such magnitude. It has to be so shocking and so painful that it forces a reset.
Yeah.
That is the point of a crisis. And the reason that it happens every 80 to 100 years is because throughout that time, what happens is people slowly take more and more advantage of those that are not in power, and sort of the social fabric of the culture erodes.
Yeah.
Right. And so
Yeah.
like that's where we're at.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. And no one is going to make such a painful and mass type of change to our government, to our systems, to our social structure, even to like their own personal worldview
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
character, morality, God, whatever, unless they're forced to. And so the
Yeah.
point is, this in fact has to be catastrophic almost. Like
Yeah,
the
I
odds
agree,
have to
yeah.
be literally life or like existence, or we're getting wiped out,
Yes.
in order for people to band together. Like there has to be such a high risk that the collaboration becomes the easier choice with people that you don't
Right.
necessarily agree with.
Yeah. Which I don't like. It's hard to think of what could do that today.
Yeah,
Like to that scale.
right.
Because I think like something that could do that would be, like if like China invades
Mm-hmm.
or, some like X country that is like super all for like communism or whatever. It's like if we don't band together and fight this, like the way we live is gonna change,
Yeah.
Like we will not be free.
Exactly.
anymore. I think
The stakes have to be that high.
yes, yeah, I agree. That's why like another civil war, I don't like see that as like
I agree.
right now.
I would agree with you. Yeah, I
I feel
really
like
would.
most people are united in the sense that like like the distrust of the government. Like if it was, I don't see like a real red versus blue like civil war happening or like anything like that.
I
or
totally think you're spot on. And the reason I think you're spot on is because that is something that is like kind of a little obvious in the sense of like, what I mean by that is there is such a tension between red and blue that people are like, whoa, this could boil over.
yeah,
But there's something like about the nature of a crisis that kind of blindsides you a bit.
yes,
And so I think that like the divide between those two thoughts, like the parties, is what actually is united because of the crisis. Right? Like I think you could have like the freaking redneck, death or Trump like type guy fighting against like the blue-haired lesbian because there's such a great threat to face.
right,
So I think you're
yes,
spot on, in my opinion.
yeah. Like the only way I see a civil war happening is if like our own government like turned on us.
Right.
That'd be
Right.
like,
Yeah. Which I think is against their best interest, honestly.
yeah.
I feel like.
I mean, who knows? Or if it's like the United Nations,
Yeah.
Uh,
True. Well, and I think that like we sort of like the corruption, right? Like has just it gets to a boiling point where it's so bad that the actual and I think this is like kind of what our enemies have been trying to do to America for ever since World War II, is like they know they can't go like band for band.
No, you can't. Yeah.
They know that.
Yeah.
So what they do is they're like, I'm gonna erode the fabric of your society,
Yeah.
and that's what they've been doing. Like that's like
dude.
well documented. That's not like a crazy take.
Yeah.
There's freaking videos of a ex KGB agent,
Yeah.
like that speech of him
That was
being
one of the
like,
craziest videos.
"This is
ever.
exactly how our game plan to erode America's society." And you can basically go down the list of that and be like, "That happened. That happened.
Yeah.
That's happening.
Yeah.
That's happening. That's just starting to happen." And
You can still see it today with like TikTok, where like all the content that like US people in the US see on TikTok is just like crazy, random, stupid crap.
brain
that-
rot.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, brain rot. But in Japan, like all TikTok stuff is like
In China.
China. Probably in Japan too.
Mhm.
But it's like people like accomplishing like great things and like becoming something. You know.
Dude, brain support,
Yeah. Yeah.
brain growth. And so I think what I was saying is that sort of like erosion of responsibility and like that corruption in the government, I think lends itself to an internal attack. Because I think that like we've gotten so sort of like delusional. Like our government's gotten so delusional and out of touch with certain things. And then we've just made a lot of mistakes, I feel like, in a lot of areas as a country that is allowing this, like, it could be allowing like a seed or like our enemies to kind of harbor and plant stuff. And they just gotta kind of like wait for it to grow. It could be that. And then it's like, because we didn't take things seriously enough or thought that everyone needs to, whatever, then we're going to pay for that. I think that kind of lends itself to the pattern we've seen of a lack of like responsibility from our leaders.
Mm. Yeah.
Because to me, like, that is the craziest scenario. To walk outside my house and look at my neighbor and be like, dude, I don't know if they're like gonna
yeah, dude.
kill me or not. Like,
Yeah.
that level of I don't know, fear or danger, I guess, would be so shocking to our nation. I think
That's why like,
we would be caught so off guard.
Yeah, the older I get, the more I just want to like get a plot of land
I'm saying,
and just like
and I think we're seeing people do that more and more.
more people are like
People feel that.
realizing-
They're like,
yeah.
oh shoot, like this is getting unstable.
yeah,
And
yeah,
if I just have a few people around me that have the same values, it makes me feel better.
yeah.
It makes me feel a lot better about what could happen.
Do you think I guess it would depend, but like, and it's just so crazy to talk about, but like an alien invasion,
Yeah.
like if just a UFO came and was like, okay, like UFOs are real, aliens are real,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think much would happen.
I don't either. I agree.
It would have to be like full scale. We are under attack dude, by these aliens. Which at that point, it's like, what do you even do?
Right. I mean, that's every movie we've watched since like we were kids.
I feel like that would be not just. I think that would be world changing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Which I guess like America falling would also be world changing for sure. But aliens attacking would be like a whole nother level.
Yeah. I also see a scenario where like the aliens could be like I mean, after like reading Chris Bledsoe's book and hearing his story, I'm like,
You're saying it's like spiritual beings.
the aliens like could be spiritual beings and
Yeah.
or I guess be what's the right word? Like good. I don't know. I feel
mean-
like they could be sort of like I think there's a possibility they could end up like integrating into our lives and into AI, which would be like crazy. That's also this like I feel like that's the opposite scenario where it's like we've come in peace type scenario.
Yeah. Do you think that would happen? Like, do you think
that's less likely.
like any of that would happen like before Christ comes back?
Dude, that's the question, bro. That's the question.
Because I wrestle with even like the idea of like humans going and living on another planet.
Right.
It's like,
Is that God's plan?
yeah, it's like we gotta allow that. And I mean, he might, you know. It's
True.
like, but like when
Yeah.
we get there, will that actually happen, dude?
I know, man. I wonder if people thought the same thing about like when we went to the moon.
If we went,
I knew you were gonna say that. I was gonna say if we theoretically went to the moon. Yeah, I mean that was a big thing. Who knows? I mean, who knows what people were? I mean, I'm sure there were people that were like, Jesus, you know, we go to the moon. That's it. He's coming back.
I mean, yeah, probably. But no one's like living on the moon, you know.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Unless there are, and we just don't know.
True. They're living on the dark side, baby.
There's some crazy conspiracies about the moon, bro.
Oh, dude, I know. I've only dipped my toes in unknowingly.
Yeah, dude. The older I get, the more I want like a plot of land and a freaking bunker. Dude, having a bunker just in general would be sick. But dude, to live through something like that in our lifetime would just be. Honestly, I almost feel like it'd be foolish to think that we won't.
I know. Like things have been
Like-
too good for too long.
Yeah.
And everyone feels that.
Yes.
Everyone's like, stock market's been doing real good lately. Last 10 years.
Yeah.
Last 15 years. Like everyone's kind of up in real estate last 15 years. But I'm just gonna bury my head in the sand. I just hope nothing happens.
Yeah, dude.
Dude. So I mean that's kind of what I wrestle with. Like, man, is cash king or is the value like is the dollar gonna get so devalued that's like do you just put it on Bitcoin and like Bitcoin's gonna become the thing, or is it like maybe the dollar and Bitcoin goes away and it's just gold? Like
Yeah, dude.
who knows,
freaking
bro?
knows,
It's
dude. Who
crazy.
freak-
Like
I feel like land has to be like
that true.
bar none the
Dude.
best option.
Yeah.
Like to have your own plot of land, dude, especially when something like that happens, gold isn't gonna help you. Cash isn't gonna help you. I mean, maybe cash might help you.
Yeah.
but
one of those three.
you never know.
One of those three could help you.
could
But you just
maybe
know, like
yeah.
maybe, and
Yeah.
if it does, you don't know which one.
Yeah, dude.
So like
Like
they're
when
not.
something like that happens, you don't even know if
Yeah.
like someone's gonna take
And the
your
thing
cash.
and the thing about land is like not only are they not making any more of it, which they're not making more of gold or Bitcoin either,
Yeah.
for much longer at least. But the thing about land is like you can actually like use it in
Yes,
that
dude.
scenario, no matter what. Like protection, shelter, grow food.
Yeah. It's something
like
that's
a
like
real
actually
asset.
valuable.
It's a
Yeah.
real and true asset that, yeah, I mean, it can get devalued, but not in the sense of like, not in the sense of the other ways. It's still useful. It's never
Yes.
not going to be useful
Yeah.
like the other three could be.
Yeah, dude.
So what you're telling me, Zach, is we need to find some land.
Dude, I mean, that's the goal, dude. Yeah, bro. I feel like it's like finding, like getting land, and then, like you said, just like, I think it's Alex Hormozy has talked about this quite a bit. Just like investing in yourself, like
I
learning
agree.
and acquiring
Dude.
as many skills as possible.
SME, bro. Invest in the SME.
Yeah.
Not the SMP.
Yeah.
Which I
mean,
think is a fire.
You can't go wrong with
You
that.
can't. And
Like-
he really paved the way for that. I
Yeah.
think.
I feel like that's from like if you're struggling to decide on like, you know, stock market or like crypto, gold, whatever, it's like and you don't know, like learn a skill.
Right.
You know, like that's like you're never gonna not gain from that.
And dude, that is so true and so valuable because especially it lends itself to no one knows what the new system is going to look like,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
But the concepts never change.
Right.
Like you can read Richest Man in Babylon, and it talks about like financial and money type energy principles and strategies for through the story of like a freaking like Middle Eastern dude
Mm.
who's like trading camels or whatever and like tries to become wealthy that way.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
it doesn't matter what it is. Like
Right.
if you
Yeah.
know how the way that God made the world in business, like if you understand how that works, it doesn't matter if you're bartering with like freaking 3 carrots for some kerosene oil to keep your house lit or like
Yeah.
you're trading crypto. It doesn't matter. Like you
Mhm.
understand the basic concepts or advanced concepts of marketing and business and profit and all the things, expenses, all things that come with that and value.
Yeah.
If you understand how value works and how to make a deal
Or even just how to solve a problem.
or how to solve a
Like,
problem,
Yeah.
like, all
Like-
of that is gonna just, gosh, drastically increase your odds of survival
Yeah.
and thrive.
like, your
thrival.
value as a person.
Do you know what I said? Survival and thrival.
I mean, yeah,
I'm
dude.
trademarking that, dude. TM.
Gosh.
Well, that's all I had to say. I just needed to get all that out.
It's good stuff, dude.
I really think that like that's part of what's driving me. Is just really realizing like, okay, I think a lot of things are pointing to something happening in the next like 5 plus or minus years. You know, 5 to 10 years, I guess.
Yeah.
And like that's not a lot of time.
It's really not.
It's really not. And that's like kind of part of what's really starting to fire under me.
I mean, I feel that. It's like that's like all I think about. It's like building this business and like acquiring enough, like getting to a place where I can like start buying, like own a piece of land, dude, and just like build on it. Gosh, that'd be so sick. That's not all I think about, but that's like one of the things that I would really like to do.
Mm.
Honestly though, dude, like I know I have like my opinions on Texas and everything, but if something like that happens, I don't feel like Austin is where I want to be.
Oh, really?
I don't know, dude. Like close to a big city,
I guess it depends, right?
I guess so. Like I just want to be in like freaking North Dakota or like
Really?
on a plot of land, dude. Yeah.
I feel like
I don't know.
For me, it's like I think there's a sweet spot. Like there's a sweet spot between, because like what if we're wrong? What if nothing happens? Like I don't just want to freaking go off the deep end.
I mean,
somewhere.
yeah, for sure.
So it's
for
like
sure.
I do want to be like close to a functioning city, but far enough away that you're kind of you have like a little bit of a head start if something crazy happens, like center of downtown.
Yeah.
Because of the reality is like if a bomb drops, dude, like if a nuclear thing, you're
yeah.
done, you're
Yeah.
cooked anyway. And so I'm like, well, I would rather just be close enough that it's not like 2 hours to a major city. But I'd also like to be far enough away that I have neighbors that share the same values.
Yeah, for sure. Like yeah, you don't want to live in fear and
That
not
too.
like
That too.
yeah, not like pursue like live somewhere where that's like optimal for your growth or whatever. Just because something might happen in 5 years. you
True.
know, like-
And that's such
yeah.
a tough thing to, at least it's been for me to think about. But time will tell.
time will tell. Yeah.
If you're watching this, freaking sitting in a ditch while there's drones flying around. Hate to say I told you so. Should have done your research. Should have prepared, man.
Should have watched Second Floor Experience.
Should have watched Second Floor Experience. What are you doing? What are you doing? Well, that was solid.
Yeah, not bad.
Tune in next time for the next installment of How to Survive the Fourth Turning Apocalypse. No, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good time. Good week. Enjoy this time. That's all I got to say. And we'll catch you on the next episode of the Second Floor Experience podcast. Peace.
Peace out.
I want to talk to you. Not now. Later. No, now.